Welcome, welcome, welcome. I've been doing these presentations for many, many years now. And I always introduce myself. So I'm still Dr. Arnold Nerenberg after all these years. And I like to say I was licensed to walk upon this earth since 1941. So that's soon be 83 years old. And I've been licensed to practice clinical psychology in the state of California since 1974. And it's my great privilege and enjoyment to present this to you, to give you my insights and discoveries and inspirations of a lifetime. Today's presentation, for some of you, will change your life forever. And to whomever you could teach this, it'll change their lives forever. That's how powerful this material is. The title of today's presentation is How to Recognize Who You Really Are. How to recognize who you really are. So we all have that lower nature, the animal nature. That's normal. We all have that. Our brain, as nurse practitioner Bert mentioned to me today, its main function is to protect us from pain and death. It's for survival, to protect us from pain. To do that, we can get very angry because we feel there's a potential threat to us, to psychological pain. There's a threat. We get angry. Or we feel hurt and we get aloof to try to protect ourselves, protect our vulnerability. That's the animal nature. Underneath that is always vulnerability. A person's angry or they get aloof. They always feel vulnerable. They feel hurt, humiliated, neglected, abandoned. Inferior, jealous, overwhelmed. Always underneath there's that. And that comes from the lower nature, the animal nature. And that has to be respected. We can't deny that that's real. We have that part of our nature. However, it's not the main part of who we are. We have also our higher nature, call it the honor nature, call it the divine nature. Now, the thoughts that come to us into lower nature, those thoughts and feelings are just automatic. You get those reactions, boom, you're angry, boom, 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 you just get that. It's based on our genetics, family upbringing, societal norms. We didn't choose it. You're not responsible. Those thoughts and feelings are not your fault. You never chose them. How can you say that really defines you? How can you say something that you never chose defines you? That doesn't make any sense. Now you have the higher nature. These are typically thoughts that you choose. So let's say you get angry at somebody and you think to yourself, well, I wish you well. Well, that comes from the higher nature, the divine nature, the honor nature. Now, the path I'm going to tell you about is not for the weak. If you're a weak person, you won't be able to do this. This is only for the strong, very strong. And you'll see why. You have an intimate relationship. Could be a husband, a wife, boyfriend, a girlfriend, a close friend they've known for many years. And you know you love that person. You've told that person, I love you. You might even have feelings like I would die for you. And you love that person with all your heart. Now get this. Now something happens and the person hurts your feelings. All of us go through that. Somebody you love says something, you take it one way, maybe they meant it that way, maybe they didn't. Hurts your feelings. And you start getting thoughts like, geez, I just want to dump this person. I can't stand him. Just want to slap him. Not the first time he's done it. What happened to the love? You've told that person you love him or you love her. What happened to that love? I'm going to tell you about this. What happened to the fact you've told that person you loved him or her? You weren't lying, you were sincere. Now at this moment you can't stand him or her. You've all been in that situation. You all have been in that situation and will be in that situation again. I promise you. You get close to somebody, a close friend, close girlfriend or boyfriend, husband, wife, you will be in that situation. Heck, it could be your own parents, your own children. You will be in that situation. I guarantee it. You will not escape it. I will not escape it. None of us will. But what happened to the love? Right now, you can't stand that person. Now, if you define love as the feeling, it's nice when we feel a loving feeling. That's beautiful. Feel the love. Tell the person, you know, I really love you so much. I love you. And you mean it. It's all your heart. You feel it. But when you feel hurt, you don't feel that love. You feel resentment, anger. Heck, it might even be hatred. It might even feel betrayal. You dare to say that to me. And you said it in front of so-and-so. Where's the love? You have this feeling, I just want you out of my life. Where's the love? Now I'm going to tell you the approach to this. And which one are you? Are you the person that loves this person like you've said all these years? Or are you the person that just can't stand them? What's really you? Who are you really? Are you a person that hates this person, really angry and just like to get rid of him? Or are you the person that loves him or loves her? Which one are you? I'm going to tell you how to recognize who you really are. This is groundbreaking. Again, this is not for the weak. Oh, no. You have to be strong to follow what I'm going to tell you. But it's doable. I promise you. Now, so we have the commandments of honor. We have the laws of honor. Well, one of the laws, the 7 laws of honor, well, it's actually 11 laws of honor. I love you. I adore you. I cherish you. I appreciate you. I respect you. I like you. I'm totally committed to you. I'll always be loyal to you. I'll do anything for you. Next to God, you're my first priority always. You having those thoughts, and now I repeat those at least once a day. So I have those ready to go. Now here's the key. Watch what I'm going to say now. This is a pivotal point for your entire life. You have to be strong to do this. Person hurts your feelings. You can't stand that son of a gun. You look them in the eyes. You look them in the eyes, and you say, I love you. I love you, sweetheart. I do love you. Or I'm having a hard time with this, but I love you. One or the other. I'm having a hard time with this, but I love you. Or just, I love you. I love you so much. Now, this is the key point. Many of you will not be able to do that. You have that anger, that upsetness. You will not be able to do it. But the strong will. But you have to be repeating those laws of honor all day long. Always have it ready to go. Because the reality is you do love that person. You built a life together. Children together, let's say. Or you own houses together. Or whatever. You've just been together for a long time. Are you going to define your relationship as I can't stand this son of a gun? Or you're going to define it by I love you? Which is it going to be? Now, if you define love as a thought, not just as a feeling, it's nice when the feeling's there, as a thought and as a commitment, a decision. It's a commitment. Once you say it's a commitment, a decision, a thought, I love you, you can do something. If you define it totally as a feeling, you're lost. I don't love this person. What are you talking about? 1 hour ago, you said you love him. You do anything for him. Now you want to get rid of him. If you go by the feelings, that's what happens. So, I love you. So you're looking at that person hurt your feelings. You feel angry. You want to just say some nasty things. And that's real. That's your animal nature. That's the lower nature. That's real. But more real is you know the reality is you love this person. And you know you're going to damage the relationship. There's going to be a lot of bad spin-off. You say, you know what, I can't stand you. You're stupid. And I just hate you. And you say that, and thing goes on. The person the next day, next week says, you hate me. I know you hate me. So if you say to that person, I love you, sweetheart. I really love you. Crazy about you. I adore you. Is that a lie? Is that being a hypocrite, a two-faced? You're having this feeling and you're saying, I adore you, I love you, I cherish you, right when you're having that feeling? Is that being disingenuous or you're lying? No, you're not. Because the reality is you do love that person. You're committed to that person. You're committed to loving that person. And this feeling is something that's on you, which is from your lower nature, but from your higher nature, your divine nature, your honor nature, I love you. I love you, sweetheart. I love you so much, darling. Don't get so upset. It's not good for you. It's not good for me, but I adore you. And that's why you want to just slap the person. Let me tell you why it's not for the weak. It'll split you in half. It'll split you. You're getting that feeling and you're projecting out love. And they don't know that you're like that. All they hear is, oh, I love you, I adore you. Wow. And that will, you'll feel split. You'll be uncomfortable because you didn't give vent to that anger. Somebody can say, are you lying to yourself? Are you a hypocrite? No. You recognize that you have that from your lower nature, but you know what your commitment is. I love you. Now, many people can't do that. They can't even get the words out of their mouth. I know many people can't even say, I wish somebody was. They got choke on the words. I'm so upset with you. You try to say, I love you. It's like, I love you. You just can't even get the words out. That's most people who are weak. But to truly love, you got to say, I love you. And you have that going on. You're dying from that feeling. You're sacrificing yourself for your love for that person because you're paying a price to split that. You would feel momentarily better if you start screaming or even cursing at the person. You would feel momentarily better. Yes, you would. But it's not consistent with your love for that person. I would say that's being a hypocrite. It makes that person a hypocrite because here you say you love them, you committed yourself to them, or to her, it's an exclusive relationship or a marriage, and now you're cursing and screaming at them. I would say that makes you a hypocrite from the time you said you love them. It's the opposite. Somebody might think, well, you're a hypocrite because you're having this rage against the person. You're saying, I love you. No, the hypocrisy is if you don't do that. Makes everything, all the love you've proclaimed, a lie. How can you love somebody and get like that? It's a path for the strong. You're split consciousness. You're not going to relieve yourself by dumping all that negativity on the person. This is the way of honor. I'm not saying we'll let people walk on us. Oh no, someone disrespects us. Hey, I talk to you with respect. I expect you to talk to me with respect. We don't let people walk on us. Oh no. It's not good for us, not good for them, not good for the relationship, and you're allowing them to dishonor you. You might say, hey, I'm having a hard time with that, or, that's really disturbing to hear you talk like that, but, I love you. Just want you to know I adore you, I love you, I cherish you. Totally committed to you, sweetheart. I love you. It's doable. It is doable. I'll ask you a question for yourself. Are you strong enough to do that? Are you strong enough to do that? Really? It's not a path for the weak. This is a path for the strong. Now, I would say, I'll go further. For those who believe in God, which I do, most of our people do, but not everybody, we're told we're made in the image of God. We're told that the divine spark is within us. that the light of God is within us, that he stands within us, mighty, powerful, and self-subsisting. So we know that the real you, we're created nobly, we're created as noble beings. So we know the real you, from any scripture, any religion, I don't care which one it is a part that says, I love you. That comes from real you. It might be just a thought and a commitment. But that's the real you. Because we're made in the image of God. The other part is definitely the animal part that wants to just tear somebody apart. That's normal. It's natural. But the real us is noble and above, and can be above that. Well, it's been my pleasure to present this to you. You choose to follow your divine nature. Many people live as a slave to their lower nature. You get that feeling and boom, that's what you are. Your life will go up and down in chaos. You'll never have a good life with it, I tell you right now. That's one thing. You use that animal nature, those feelings, to write a novel, make a movie, other ways of expressing. But if you take it out on the person you love, there's going to be severe repercussions. And it doesn't make us a hypocrite because we've told the person we love them and now we're doing that. So I'm going to ask you, are you strong enough to do this? I'm going to open it up now for comments and questions and see your reaction to this. This is life-changing. If you follow this, it's life-changing. I want to say again, it will make you feel split. You're not going to have the relief of dumping that anger on somebody. It's not necessarily a comfortable way, but that love, you will find that there's great power in it as well. I love you. I'm crazy about you, sweetheart. That will actually wash over your own negativity for a while. Then if the thing keeps going on, rage comes back. But you'll find it washes over you in a good way. It's like a miracle of love. True love, sacrificial love. You're sacrificing your animal nature to manifest your divine nature, your higher nature, your honor nature. Sacrifice. I'm 83 years old. I didn't understand this until at least I was 80. Well, I didn't even know what I was doing until I was 70, but 80 to understand this, really. I haven't understood it that long, but I'm passing it for you so you can benefit now at your younger ages. All right, I'm opening up. Any comments, questions? Are you strong enough to do this? And how do you feel about what I've said?
Hi, good afternoon, doctor.
Who is this?
Denise.
Denise, good to hear from you, Denise.
Thank you. I just really want to say that today's class really hit really deep for me and resonated because I think this is one of the bigger issues that I have in my relationship, and it's getting past, am I strong enough to be the bigger person? Because I can be very hot-headed in fights and just not want to block everything out and not want to listen or talk, or just thinking in my head, am I going to be strong enough and not taking all the negativity? Because at the end of the day, it's not.
Well, let me tell you something,
Denise.
Denise.
The path less taken.
Denise, let me tell you something. That's a wonderful point. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You need to repeat all day long, I love you. Now, I like to go, I love you, I adore you, I cherish you, I appreciate you, I like you, I respect you, I'll do anything for you, I'm totally committed to you, I'll always be loyal to you. Next to God, you're my first priority. Mine goes on a little bit longer, but even if you just use I love you, at least 3 times a day, you have to be always ready for that to come out. Denise, I'm so glad you said this. It's not just you. Oh, no. This is universal. This is universal. This is across humanity. Always was a major issue. Always will be for all human beings. Everyone. And this is the solution. And this solution is consistent with the scriptures of all spiritual paths, all religious paths, without an exception. Tell me your thoughts. You're welcome. What do you think about what I just said to you, truthfully?
I think it's more about just a mental thing that people don't want to see, right? They just try to put the blame on everybody else.
And the blame might be that it might be that person's fault. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying you're not going to allow it to destroy your love.
Exactly. Yeah. Because it takes two people at the end of the day.
Person might have been wrong. You say, listen, what you did, I really don't like that. I wish you weren't doing that. But I just want you to know I love you. I adore you. Please don't talk that way or do those things. Very upsetting.
I have a question.
Yes. Let me say, Denise, thank you so much.
Hi.
Okay. What is your name, please?
I'm sorry, but I have a question. My name is Angela.
What is your name? I blocked out.
Angela Acosta.
Oh, Angela.
Hi, how are you?
Okay.
I wanted to know, like, how can I apply that to, like, not in a relationship? How can I apply what you just talked about to my employers? Because right now I'm feeling that, like, that anger towards them.
Okay. Now let's go through that. A lot of my people come to me. They felt discriminated against, abused, abusive power, very common. Discriminated against, very hard to take. I mean, you're not having "I love you," but you can, in your mind, you want to go, "I wish you well." It might be so bad you can't even do that. So you go, "I want to wish you well." So you're going through, you did this, you did that, I wish you well, or I want to wish you well. And you go there, I wish you well. So you keep balancing. You can't help getting the negative thoughts.
Right.
It's impossible. You're human. We don't lie to ourselves. Well, it's a problem. You may have to sue the company. You may have to go to your union if you're a union person. You may have to quit. You may have to file a complaint, whatever. But you should do all you can not to allow it to rob you of your well-being. I wish you well. I wish you well. I really do. And that's one of the 4 commandments of honor. I wish you well. And you keep repeating that every time you think of the person. Now, the negative thought, the upsetness with your supervisor is much stronger than the well-wishing. Believe me, the negative is much more. In the short term, it is. But in the long run, by always balancing it. So we're not fighting the negative thought. We let it be. It's not your fault you're having that. And you're balancing with, I wish you well. And by balancing it every time, the negative thoughts will come less often, with less duration, less intensity. That's what will happen.
Got it. Yeah,
but you got to do 3 times a day, I wish you well. You got to be doing that 3 times a day. You have the 4 commandments of honor, some of the laws of honor, such as I love you. Yeah, absolutely. You got to keep doing it 3 times for a lifetime. As soon as you stop doing that, you lose the whole benefit. You'll fall prey to your lower nature.
Thank you.
Now, thank you for that excellent question. Believe me, people benefit from what you've said more than what I've even said because they like to hear what other people are saying.
Right.
What you said and what Denise said. You're most welcome. Okay, who else? I heard some other. Yes.
Oh, hi, it's Natalie.
Natalie. Okay, Natalie.
Hey. I was just kind of wanting to ask, sorry, in regards to, your reality, which is like, I adore you, I cherish you, I love you, I'm committed to you, all of those things. What about, like, not that you're not strong enough, but what if you're just more disappointed because they don't reciprocate or receive, like,
you know what
you're saying?
The person may not reciprocate. This is your path. They may be too weak, too hurt, too whatever. And you will feel disappointed. You may even feel betrayed because the person's always said they love you and now they've got withdrawn or they're talking badly to you. I love you. But hey, listen, don't talk to me that way, please. I talk with respect. I appreciate it if you talk to me with respect. I want you to know I love you. I really do. That's not an issue. I love you. In fact, I appreciate you and I respect you. You can't control how that person. Yeah, that's our job. Those of us committed to the way of honor. That's how we live. You're basically me. Most people will not reciprocate. They need a cooling.
How do you deal with the disappointment when they don't?
it's hard. The disappointment, you realize you realize they're not strong enough to do it. You realize that, that it's not in them. You've got the knowledge of how to do this. They won't. You might say, listen, I love you. I know you're upset right now. We'll talk later. You don't stay around and take abuse. We'll talk later when you calm down, but I want you to remember I love you so much and I respect you. You go away if they give time to calm down. But yeah, you do that because you're following the way of honor.
Yeah, and that's my reality.
That's the path that we're talking about in the whole program that you signed up for. This is going to free you from your lower nature. You pay a price for it. You pay a price. It's like you're giving up certain weapons of anger and defenses that you have. You're coming in with an honor. Basically, you're a person of honor in a dishonorable world.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome. But we don't let people walk on us. This is not a marshmallow thing. We're not wimps. We take steps to neutralize the damage, not out of revenge, just to neutralize it. We don't let it go on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I'm really glad you brought that up, Natalie. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Doctor.
You're most welcome.
Hi, Doctor. This is Iris.
Iris! Good to hear from you, Iris. Our deep, deep Iris.
Here I am.
Yes,
Baby's
indeed.
not crying, so
Yes, good.
Just check in really quick. So, I just wanted to make a comment on Natalie's comment right now. I recently had a situation, Doctor. We talked about it. I was the weak one in the relationship. My husband, we were in an argument, and he was trying to be the honorable one by stepping up and, being the calm one and putting his ego aside and trying to diffuse the situation. But I was not the honorable one. I was the weak one, and I wanted to let my anger out, and I still kept on badgering him. And the night did not end well. But the next day, I regretted everything. I regretted not taking the honorable path. I regretted all of it. And I felt so crummy. And it's something that I still think about today. And
Let me interrupt you for 1 second.
Situation.
Iris, let me interrupt.
Yeah.
Do you believe in God or you don't?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I'm going to use God in your situation because I do as well. You say, God, please forgive me and I feel ashamed. God, allow my wrongdoing to motivate me to greater degrees of love. God, please allow my wrongdoing to motivate me to higher degrees of love. God will give you that. When you ask for more love, more wisdom, more compassion, you will get that. If you ask for $1 billion, you probably won't get it. But
right.
You ask for more love to motivate you. Say you have so much regret. You go, gee, I never want to do that again. And you ask God to take you to greater degrees of love, and you show your husband more love, and you tell him how much you appreciate him, and you respect him and admire him the way he held right in there, and you're ashamed of how you were and regret it. But I've asked God to help me to go to higher degrees of love and let him know how much you admire him for how he was.
Right.
That's strong.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wanted to share that also because I wanted to let everyone know it is hard to be the bigger person, but when you're the weaker person, it's even harder in the long run.
We've all been there. The whole thing is when we slip, and we all will slip, we have to face it, repent, and get back on track as soon as possible without beating ourselves up.
Right.
Repent, face it, repent, get back up, and get on track as soon as possible without beating ourselves up for it. That's the way of honor. That's what honor calls for. It's a very forgiving path because all of us, myself included, I don't slip often, but I do slip. And I know I've regretted it and been ashamed of. I have. Yeah. And that's exactly what I did. I said, God, please allow this to motivate me to greater degrees of love and purity of heart. That's what I asked for. And I'm teaching you what I use on myself. So I know what works for me, and that's what I'm passing to you. Thank you, Iris. You're a wonderful person. I think the world of you, Iris. I have to tell you that. I think you know that. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're very.
Thank you, Doctor.
You're a deep. No, you're a wonderful human being. And even that you shared that, believe me, you're sharing that. You don't know how many people you've helped. And this video will be on the website. Could be thousands of people over the centuries may hear it, maybe millions. Who knows? The intention is for the honor movement to go on over the centuries. Benefit from what you said. That was powerful what you shared, Iris. Really powerful.
Thank you, Doctor.
You're a very genuine person. I have nothing but admiration and respect for you.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Hey, Doctor.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You first.
No.
You first. Whoever that was.
I was just gonna share my
Who is this?
This Rachel.
Oh, Rachel. Okay, Rachel.
Hey, so this topic is so relevant to how I got my marriage back on track, because it is so easy to mudsling in the moment, and take the road less traveled. And I've been with my husband since we were 16, so we had to learn how to adapt to each other.
So how many years have you been together?
Almost 30 now.
30 years. So you love him?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you love him and you're committed to him?
Absolutely. The one thing my grandma told me in the midst of this was slow to speak, slow to anger. And every time he said something that would potentially hurt me or I'd feel angry inside, I would just pause and say, nevertheless, I still love you.
That's a good advice, but let me tell you, you can't help that anger coming in fast. It's just built into the nervous system.
We still have it, but we now have more of a discussion than we do anything.
Well, if you use the bridge, you say the 4 commandments once, 3 times a day. Now the bridge is, what is the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? So you do that 3 times a day with the commandments of honor. Keep in mind the repetition is preparation for application. And you go, what's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? That gives you time to step back and pause when you ask that question. Remember, we're not looking for happiness anymore. We're looking for honor. And honor is the foundation of true happiness. So when you go, what's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? That gives you time to bring your higher nature, your honor nature, your divine nature into play. But you gave a perfect example of that, Rachel. That's beautiful. The reality is you love your husband. So to say those nasty things, that's not real. That was just momentary feeling.
And it's so relevant, and it's not. And honestly, you're right. It isn't for the weak. You have weak moments, but it is harder work to make it work. But if you make a change, what I did first, they will either follow along with you and join the honor, and especially for us because we're Christian, and they'll come along for the ride, or they won't. But either way, you just pray about it and you keep moving forward. And it ended up working out pretty well.
God will strengthen you in this. Keep asking God to strengthen you and your commitment to the love of your husband and to strengthen your expression of it. And God, I promise you, will give you that because he wants you to have that.
Hi, this is Joe Walker.
Oh, Joanne, there you go. World traveler.
Oh,
yes.
My question is, if you are an honorable person in a dishonorable world, how do you balance that if a health professional is telling you that if you're dealing with stress, it's because of maladaptive social behavior? In other words, they're saying that you don't adapt very well to the world. But if you're an honorable person, how do you reconcile that? How do you balance it?
Boy, Joanne, that is such a sophisticated question. You know, when you're not striking back, you will pay a price.
Yes.
And you'll be stressed because if you unloaded it and you said all kinds of things, that would relieve you for the moment. You know, I always tell people that are getting picked on at work by the supervisor, I meet the most beautiful human beings in the world. And I say to her, I remember one of my, she was a lovely lady, like my people, so beautiful and wonderful. I said, if you were a bitch, that person wouldn't have been talking to you that way. They don't do that to bitches. They do that to nice people. But you don't want to let her make a bitch. You don't want to let her make a bitch out of you. So you pay a price.
Yeah.
You pay a price for this.
You do.
You pay a price. So I'm not here to tell you this is an easy path. I'm just saying it's a path that will give you more resilience and more self-respect, more wisdom and more compassion. I'm not going to tell you it's an easy path. It can be very difficult, especially you're dealing with at work with power-hungry people, abuses and violations. You file your complaints, you go to your union, you do what you have to do to deal with it. You wish them well as you're going through it. You make your moves.
Right.
And that's how it has to go. But I'm not going to tell you you're going to feel at peace when that happens. But remember this, all happiness and suffering are fleeting. Only honor is forever.
Yeah.
Joanne, you're so right on. So you can say, well, you can say, I am maladjusted for a dishonorable world, but I'm very well adjusted for the kingdom. I guess that's all you can say.
That's
yeah. I mean, that's it. I mean, you live your life with honor. It's a path of no regret. You're basically a crucifixion of your lower nature. No other way to put it. But you have to respect it. That's real. You do what you can to soothe that and deal with that. That's real. But your true nature is your divine nature, your honor nature, your higher nature. That's your true nature. That's truly who you are. That's how you recognize who you really are. That's the answer. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful question. Now, you muted me. I hear you, but I'll tell you something. You can raise your voice with somebody. You can say, listen, when you talk to me like that, you're damaging your heart. It's damaging. When you yell, that's damaging your heart. You're more likely to have a stroke or heart attack. You need to stop that to protect yourself. I don't want you dropping over dead of a heart attack. You're yelling, you're getting it out. Well, you're doing it to protect them. So you can scream all you want. Because you're not calling them, you're not cursing them out. You're not telling them awful things about themselves. You're yelling about they're damaging themselves. You can yell then. Yeah, you're muted out right now, Joanne, but thank you. Excellent, excellent.
Thank you.
Oh, there you are. You're back in.
Yeah.
You're most
No,
welcome.
that's a great way to look at it too, to put it back on them and let them know what they're doing to themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
And you can yell all you want. You can go as high up as you can go.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. All right, thank you.
You're most welcome. Thank you for that. What a question that is. Wonderful question. This is at odds with a lot of what psychologists many will tell you in the mental health profession. They say, you're putting up with that? You tell that person off. You'll hear some variation of that. You stand up for yourself and you just tell them what you think of it. That's the common, what I'm teaching you is not the common approach. It's not.
Right.
But I'm a lot older than all these people saying that.
Yeah.
I'm doing this 50 years. I went through all those things. I didn't know what I was doing until I was 70. I followed all those things. There's certain validity and good points to it, but those are not enough. No. And psychologists, in terms of relationships, I don't think they have any happier marriages. They have the same divorce rate, maybe higher than the general population. So the common knowledge isn't really working. But you have a lot of good psychologists who understand. But mostly you've got a lot of misunderstandings and erroneous ideas in the profession. Yeah. Very good. Thank you, Joanne.
Yeah, and it also seems that they're just trying to give people the tools to help them cope in the workplace, whether it's honorable or not. Because I think that if they don't have those tools, they're not able to withstand what's going on at work.
You see, when you're standing up to somebody, the way of honor demands justice. It does, but you don't want to go to revenge.
Yeah.
The way of honor calls for justice. That's a different motive.
Right.
You want justice.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas to many therapists, if you do revenge, you do it any way you want to make yourself feel better. You got to look after number one, you, so whatever it takes. No, but the way of honor calls for the sanctity of humanity, and recognizing you don't want to damage that person, but then you don't want to let them dishonor themselves or traumatize you. So you're doing this to protect them from themselves. You file whatever complaints you need to do, EEOs, whatever you need to file against them. You do it. You wish them well, but it's not for revenge. You're not trying to get even. That's key. Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you, Joanne. Who else has something? Somebody who was saying something right before? Gentleman, I don't know, what was your name?
Oh, that was me, Doc. It's Chris.
Chris, it's so good to hear from you, Chris. Another deep.
Lately. Yeah. No. All I was just gonna make a little comment about Natalie and Iris's, questions and shares. And first and foremost, thank you to Iris. It's always hard to actually admit, our own wrongdoings, right? That's the thing.
Iris is totally genuine person.
Been there myself. But the only thing I was gonna say was, because I know that Natalie had, questioned, like, what do you do? And kind of circling back to everything with today about this being our reality and, the way the honor movement, at the end of the day, it's like, you can only control what you can control. And I'm not telling anybody here what to do. This is just something that I live by. And I feel like it does align with the honor movement itself, is that all we can do is just control what we can control. If somebody is continuously badgering us or whatever the case may be, we're not being pushovers, but what we can control is how we perceive what they say. We can control the things what we say back, things of that nature. And that's what's helped me a lot. And again, the bridge that you gave me and everything that you told me, right, with the honor movement, the things that we're saying and the things that we're repeating, repetition, with I wish you well. Like, I use that a lot whenever I think about the reason why I'm here, right? But also just like, if somebody cuts me off on the road, like, instead of like losing myself and like getting all pissed off, a lot of times I'll just be like, take like 3 deep breaths and I'll just be like, I wish that NF well, you know what I mean? Like,
you go, I wish you well, and you go, or I refuse to, what are the laws of honor? I refuse to allow you to control my anger ever. I refuse to allow you to control my anger ever. I wish you well. Yeah, you don't want to turn over that control to that person. Exactly.
So that's all I wanted to say.
Well, Chris, thank you thank you, Chris, for adding that. Thank you very, very much, Chris. I want to thank you so much for being here. This has been a great joy for me to talk with you. Very meaningful to be here with you and to pass this on to you and to discuss how to recognize who you really are. How to recognize who you really are.
The sea of destiny is in your deepest struggle. God's will and mine be one, and I wish you well. You are co-creator, respectfully real. There's a way in the valley that turns weakness to steel. We're known through all eternity, from strife we gain power, clothed in grace and love, disciples of honor. All the days and pure eyes now glow. In darkness crave the good, like waters from the desert flow. I pledge my love all the days of my life. I pledge my soul to all that is good. I pledge my heart to my brothers and sisters who I join in the light, leave a legacy of honor. We're known through all eternity. From strife we gain power, clothed in grace and love, disciples of honor. All the days of our lives refuse the way of shame. We wish nobody harm, have no one to blame. Your high calling will be done, and pure eyes now glow. In darkness crave the good, like waters from the desert flow.